Akron Police! Akron Police! Where's your mom at? Okay, stay right here.
No, there's so much blood. No, please. Mom!
Man!
She's in the court now! No!
Stop!
Lahat ng magulang ay pangarap maging maayos ang pag-aaral ng kanilang mga anak at sila'y makapagtapos ng kolehiyo. Pero sa ibang kabataan ay nagbibigay ito sa kanila ng matinding pressure. Sa kaso ng isang dalagita sa Ohio, USA, ang pressure na ito ay ang mag-uudyok sa kanya para mapatay ang sarili niyang ina. Para sa pamilya ng Powell, ang pangarap nila na makapag-college ang anak ay nauwi sa isang masalimuot na pangyayari. Nang dahil sa isang tawag sa telepono ay malalaman nila ang sikreto ng kanilang anak na magdudulot ng karumal-dumal na krimen sa tahimik nilang pamilya.
Just unbelievable.
Si Brenda K. Powell ay tahimik at mapayapang namumuhay sa Akron, Ohio. Matapos niyang makapagtapos sa University of Akron, ay nagtrabaho ito bilang isang child life specialist in the Hematology-Oncology Unit sa Akron Children's Hospital sa loob ng 28 years. Kahit busy, ay lagi siyang naglalaan ng oras para sa kanyang pamilya. Ngunit ang buhay ng isang maalaga at mapagmahal na ina ay matatapos ng dahil sa kanyang sariling anak. Ang anak ni Brenda na si Sydney Powell ay isang mag-aaral sa St. Vincent St. Mary High School ng Akron. Siya ay player ng soccer at isang taon din siyang player ng lacrosse bilang isang team captain. Ang mga magulang ni Sydney ay masaya at proud naman sa kanya dahil nakapagtapos siya na matataas ang grado. Nung mag-college si Sydney ay napili niya ang Mount Union University dahil gusto niya na malapit lamang siya sa kanilang tirahan. Dahil sa maganda ang mga grado ni Sydney, ay nagkaroon siya ng presidential scholarship. Nagsimula ng college si Sydney noong September 2018. Lagi naman siyang umuwi sa tuwing magkakaroon ng school break. Ang mag-inang Brenda at Sydney ay sobrang malapit sa isa't isa. Hindi lang isang ina, kundi isa ring best friend ang turing ni Sydney sa kanya. Gumagamit sila ng Live 360 app para malaman nila kung nasaan ang isa't isa. Paano nangyari na ang isang masaya at pinagkakatiwalaan ng isa't isa ay mauuwi sa isang trahedya? Si Sydney ay maraming achievements at mayroong magandang track record ng success noong siya ay high school. At nagkaroon pa nga siya ng scholarship. Kaya naman, ang mga magulang nito ay kampante sa kanilang anak. Mayroong app ang Mount Union para ma-check at ma-monitor ang progress ni Sydney sa university. Ngunit madalang nila itong gamitin o i-check dahil gusto nilang bigyan ng space at tiwala sila kay Sydney. Kaya naman madalang nila itong tanungin tungkol dito. Hindi naman nagbahagi o nagkukwento si Sydney sa kanyang pamilya tungkol sa kanyang progress sa university. Noong umuwi siya ng summer 2019, si Sydney ay kumuha ng summer job sa Akron Rubber Duck, isang local baseball team. Nagtatrabaho siya sa Kids Zone. Bumalik naman siya sa university campus nang hindi nagsasabi sa kanyang pamilya ng mga problema o mga problema na paparating pa lamang. Muli namang bumalik si Sydney nang mag-winter break. Nagdiwang ng masayang Christmas at New Year kasama ng buong pamilya niya na para bang walang masamang nangyayari sa kanya. Noong January 2020, bumalik siya sa Mount Union University pero sa pagkakataong iyon ay nagkaroon na pala siya ng problema. Noong December 2019, Si Sydney ay napatalsik na pala sa kanyang pinapasokang university. Sa kanyang nakaraang fall semester ay bumaksak siya sa 3 sa 4 niyang klase na nagresulta sa pagtanggap niya ng notification letter mula sa administration office ng school na nagsasabi na siya ay expelled na sa university na ayon pa sa sulat na ito ay effective immediately.
Yes.
Okay, what is that document?
This would be the letter indicating that Sydney was suspended.
Okay, so that's a suspension letter. That's the letter that's sent to students?
Yes.
Okay. And that directs them on who to contact if they want to appeal or to address what's going on?
Yes.
Okay. And Ms. Gaffney, who is that letter specifically to?
This is to Sydney.
Now, you mentioned that this letter of suspension is sent via certified mail. Is there a tracking system that Mount Union uses to ensure that that student has proper notice? Is there a signature?
There is a signature required.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you mentioned that once a student is suspended, they wouldn't be allowed back into the dorms. Can you explain the process of who's allowed in the dorms and who's allowed to use Mount Union's facilities as a student?
So to live on campus, you have to be enrolled as a full-time student.
And part of that suspension, that student will lose access to all of those availabilities.
Yes.
Okay.
Pero bumalik pa rin siya sa Mount Union noong January at patuloy sa kanyang ilusyon na para bang walang problema at normal lang ang lahat. Maging sa kanyang roommate na si Lauren na kanya ring best friend noong siya ay high school pa lamang. Noong February naman ay nagsabi si Sydney kay Lauren na aalis ito para mag-isip-isip. Pero sa realidad ay pinapaalis na pala ito sa kanilang campus.
Ms. Gaffney, at some point did you yourself meet Sydney Powell?
I did.
Okay. And what happened? Were you able to contact Ms. Powell?
I was. And Sydney
Okay.
came over to the office.
Okay, can you describe that interaction?
I think when she first came in, I said, Sydney, there seems to be some confusion. It seems as though you haven't moved out of your residence hall yet, from what I can tell. But you're not enrolled this semester. You're not a student here this semester. And at first she replied to me that, oh, I am, but I'm still a student here. And that's when I actually addressed the fact that the suspension, I said, Sydney, you received a suspension letter that you signed for. And so we spoke a little bit further, and she said, well, yes, she had, but she had been hoping to get things changed or fixed, and so she had been trying to work things out.
So she did acknowledge that she knew about her suspension.
She did acknowledge then that she knew she was suspended.
Nag-alok naman ang college administration na tumawag sa magulang ni Sydney para ipaliwanag ang sitwasyon. Nagsinungaling naman si Sydney at sinabing ipinaalam niya na ito sa kanyang mga magulang. Si Sydney ay sobrang na-stress dahil hindi niya kayang sabihin sa kanyang mga magulang na siya ay na-kick out sa school. Ayaw niyang ma-disappoint sila at nahihiya rin siya dahil siya nga ay successful noong siya ay high school. Si Sydney ay patuloy sa kanyang ilusyon na normal lamang ang lahat. Siya ay nagrenta ng hotel room para maitago sa kanyang pamilya ang nangyari. Walang kaalam-alam ang kanyang pamilya dahil sa galing nitong magtago. February 25, 2020, nag-text si Brenda kay Sydney.
Why do I always feel like you're scamming me? Just remember you need the grades to keep your scholarship.
Nag-reply naman si Sydney.
My grades are good. Thank you very much.
Lumakas naman ang hinala ng kanyang mga magulang noong sinubukan nilang mag-login sa school portal para mag-check ng tuition fee ay na-deny ang kanilang access. Nagtanong ang kanyang ama na si Steve Powell na bakit hindi siya makapag-login sa portal.
Any information that something might be going on with Sydney and Mount Union?
The only thing that I knew is when I tried to sign on to the their whatever app that they have on the website, it kept kicking me out.
Why were you trying to get into that portal?
Seeing because the 529 plan didn't cover all the tuition for the year, so I had to make a personal check.
Okay.
So I had to see how much that was.
Okay. And when you had difficulty logging onto that portal, what did you do?
I asked Sydney what was going on about it.
Okay, and what did she say?
There was a mistake with Mount Union,
Okay.
and she'd look into it.
Okay, and at that point, you had no reason not to trust what
Correct.
she's telling you.
Correct.
Wala namang dahilan para hindi maniwala si Steve sa kanyang anak dahil sa maganda nitong track record noong siya ay high school. Wala namang makakapag-isip sa mga susunod na pangyayari. Noong March 3, 2020, nakatanggap si Steve ng tawag mula sa Mount Union tungkol sa kanyang anak. In-inform nila si Steve na hindi na naka-enroll si Sydney sa university nila. Nang tinanong ni Steve kung gaano na ito katagal, nasabi na lamang ng school administration na
You have to ask her.
I believe Mount Union called me. They called me, and the conversation was that Sydney wasn't enrolled anymore. And then I asked for how long, and they said, you have to ask her.
Okay, and I'm sure that came as a shock to you.
Yes.
And again, they said you have to ask. I know it sounds cold, but they're saying you have to ask her because they can't give you any more information, right?
That was my assumption.
sinubukan naman ni Steve gamitin ang 360 app para malaman kung nasaan si Sydney. Nalaman niya na nasa bahay lamang nila si Sydney. Around 11:30 a.m. nang makarating si Steve sa kanilang bahay. Naabutan niya si Sydney na mag-isa. Sinabi ni Sydney na meron siyang konting problema sa school. Pero siya ay naka-enroll pa rin at pumapasok sa iba nitong subjects. Kasama ang kanyang roommate at best friend na si Lauren. Sinagot naman siya ni Steve na may pag-intindi. Nasabi na kaya pa nitong ayusin ang kanyang problema.
So she told you she was essentially still enrolled but just having some trouble?
I don't know if she used the word trouble, but
And again, I don't want to put words in your mouth. You tell me. What did she say?
She was, again, I don't remember the details, but I remember she said she was still going to some of her classes with her friend Lauren.
Do you remember telling her that, you can't run away from your problems, you have to face them?
I said we'd go through, let's get through this semester, and if you needed to take the summer off or we would work through it. I remember she said, all her friends have their shit together and she doesn't, and I told her, no, that's not true.
She said she didn't. Sydney said, I don't have my shit together, but my friends do.
Yeah, she didn't know what she wanted to do, it sounded like.
Sure.
Hindi na alam ni Sydney ang gagawin dahil natatakot siyang madisappoint ang kanyang pamilya. Naisip ni Steve na ipaalam na agad kay Brenda ang pangyayari dahil hindi alam ni Steve kung paano i-handle ang sitwasyon nila noong mga panahon na iyon. Nagpa siya namang umuwi si Brenda para kausapin si Sydney. Isa namang malaking pagkakamali ang nagawa ni Steve dahil ito ay umalis bago pa man makarating ng bahay si Brenda. Sa mga sumunod na oras, ang mag-asawang Steve at Brenda ay nag-uusap sa text message. Noong 12:41 p.m. naman, nag-message si Steve kay Brenda, ngunit limit sa kanyang kaalaman. Ito na pala ang huling text message na maipapadala niya sa kanyang asawa. Si Brenda ay hindi na nakapag-reply. Nag-iwan naman ng phone message si Brenda sa school administration office ng Mount Union. Nagtatanong kung ano ba ang nangyari sa kanyang anak. Nang bumalik naman sa office ang mga empleyado ng Mount Union, ay agad naman nilang tinawagan si Brenda. Sa phone record ng admin ay noong 12:36 nang ma-pick up ni Brenda ang tawag nila.
He was sitting at his desk and I was sitting next to it. He dialed. The phone was answered, and Mrs. Powell answered.
You say Mrs. Powell, is that Brenda who answered?
Brenda answered, yes.
Okay. And what did you tell Brenda at that time?
So Dean Fraser was speaking and simply said, Brenda, this is Dean Fraser. I'm sitting here with Michelle Gaffney, our associate dean of students. We're returning your call, and that's about as far as we got.
Did Brenda respond to that introduction at all?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
what did she say?
I think he asked, "Is this Brenda Powell?"
Oh, okay.
And she said yes, and then he identified himself.
Okay. And Miss Gaffney, what happened next?
There was a very large or a very loud sort of thud sound, like a pounding or a thud, accompanied by a pretty loud scream, and the scream might have actually been first, and then the thud.
Okay.
As I think about it, and then there was sort of an expulsion. The other sound that I heard at that same time, or right after, was sort of an expulsion of air, like the air was knocked out of somebody.
Okay.
I'd always heard that expression of the air being knocked, having the wind knocked out of you, but I didn't. That's actually what it sounded like. And then several more repeated thuds. I don't know how to describe the sound.
No, and that's okay. And you and Mr. Frazier could hear this from the other end of the phone.
From the other, it was on speakerphone, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you hear any communication during these thuds?
Just the screaming, and so we were both talking into the phone, saying, what's happening? Are you okay? Do you need help? What's going on?
Yeah. Can you describe your mindset at this time?
I mean, I very definitely felt like someone was being attacked.
Natapos ang tawag ng school administrator matapos ang 6 o higit na tunog ng palo at mga sigawan. Muli nilang sinubukan tawagan si Brenda, pero ito ay hindi na nakasagot. Ngunit sa pangatlo nilang subok, mayroong sumagot ng bandang 12:40 p.m. 3 minuto simula nung pag-atake kay Brenda. At 1 minuto naman bago ang huling message ni Steve sa kanyang asawa. Pailing naman ng school administrator sa kanyang narinig. Pero nagawa pa nitong magtanong ng,
Brenda, is that you? Are you there?
mayroon namang sumagot na yes, this is Brenda. Pero ang boses na narinig ng school administrator ay hindi na si Brenda. Ito ay ang boses ni Sydney.
Recognize that voice on the line?
Yeah,
Okay. Was that Brenda
it
Powell?
was not Brenda.
Who did you recognize that voice to be?
I was sure it was Sydney. Both Dean Fraser and I looked at each other and sort of shook our heads at each other and said, that's not Brenda. And he then said, I don't, Sydney, I think this is you. This is not Brenda.
And what happened next?
The phone went dead.
Okay. And Ms. Gaffney, what did you do next?
We called the Akron police. By that point, I had the phone number up and the address, and so we called the Akron police and indicated we felt there was some sort of situation at this house and that they needed to send someone right away.
Sa puntong iyon, ang tahimik at mapayapang tahanan nila ay ang naging pinangyarihan ng krimen. Hindi lang ang paggaya ni Sydney sa boses ng kanyang ina ang sinubukan niya upang pagtakpan ang krimen na kanyang ginawa. Si Sydney ay gumawa pa ng peking pangyayari. Binasag niya ang isa sa kanilang mga bintana para pagmukain na nalooban sila. At ito nga ang ginamit niyang kwento sa mga pulis na mayroong nanloob sa kanila at sinabihan siya ng ina na tumakas na ito. Pero ito ay halatang gawa-gawa lamang dahil nakita ng mga pulis na may dugo sa labas ng pinto malapit sa basag na bintana. Nagpapakita lamang ito na binasag ang bintana matapos mangyari ang krimen. Noong 12:51 p.m., nakatanggap ng tawag si Steve mula sa kanyang kaibigan na detective. Binalita nito na papunta raw ang mga pulis sa kanilang bahay. Agad namang umuwi si Steve at naabutan ng kanyang anak na nag-hysterical noong dumating ang mga pulis sa kanilang bahay. Paulit-ulit naman si Sydney sa kanyang kwento na nilooban ang kanilang bahay. Naabutan naman ng mga pulis na nag-hysterical si Sydney. Pero ito ay kumalma noong nag-sink in na sa kanya ang ginawa nito sa kanyang ina. Tatagpuan ng mga pulis ang isang cast iron skillet kasama ang isang kutsilyo sa master bedroom. Noong nagsimulang mag-imbestiga ang mga pulis, ay nabigyang linaw kung ano ba ang tunay na nangyari kay Brenda. Ang kinamatay naman ni Brenda ay ang sunod-sunod na paghampas na mabigat na bagay sa kanyang ulo at pagsaksak sa kanyang leeg na mahigit kumulang 23 beses. Marami ring hiwa at pasa sa ulo, mga braso at kamay si Brenda. Patunay ito na nagtangka siyang manglaban o protektahan ng kanyang sarili kay Sydney. Nang dahil sa academic failures at paglilihim nito, nang mabunyag ang mga kasinungalingan niya, ito ang naging trigger kay Sydney para mapatay nito ang sarili niyang ina. Malinaw sa lahat na si Sydney ang pumatay sa kanyang ina. Pero ayon sa attorney ni Sydney, ay siya raw ay nasa kalagitnaan ng psychotic breakdown. Ibig sabihin, hindi daw alam ni Sydney na mali ang kanyang ginagawa. Ginamit nilang pruweba ang pag-i-hysterical ni Sydney at ang patuloy nitong pag-iilusyon na normal lamang ang lahat, na para bang wala itong problema. Ito raw ang ebidensya na si Sydney ay mayroong schizophrenia. Nagdala pa sila ng 3 eksperto sa psychology para mag-testify na totoo ang kanilang mga sinasabi. Sinabi pa ni Sydney sa isa sa mga psychology na wala daw siyang maalala ni isang pangyayari sa pagkamatay ng kanyang ina. Ang huli daw niyang naaalala ay nakaupo sila ng kanyang ina sa sopa at kinakausap siya. Matapos nito ay wala na raw siyang maalalang iba. Matapos magsagawa ng mga clinical test kay Sydney ay hindi pinaniwalaan ng hukuman ang kanilang depensa. Noong September 20, 2023, si Sydney ay nahatulan ng guilty sa mga kasong purposeful murder, felony murder, felonious assault, at tampering with evidence. Pinatay niya ang kanyang ina at nagtangkang itago ang katotohanan. Noong September 28, 2023, si Sydney ay nasistensyahan ng 15 years to life in prison. Pwede siyang mabigyan ng parol pag siya ay tumungtong sa edad na 38. Ano ang masasabi niyo sa kwento ni Sydney? Let us know your opinion sa comment section.